Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Gears of War 1 in 2025. It's been 19 years, almost 2 entire decades since the game's launch back in 2006. The multiplayer is actually still alive. Barely, but it's still alive. So we're going to talk about player counts and everything, and we're going to include the Ultimate Edition in this video as well. So we're going to start with the original game. Of course, the single-player campaign, before we even get into the multiplayer, single-player is still amazing, and obviously if you're a newcomer to the Gears of War series, you should start with that one. Well, E-Day is actually a prequel to everything, so it's okay if you start with E-Day and then go to Gears of War 1 and then continue on from there. But Gears of War 1 still holds up, the story is amazing, the gameplay is fantastic. Multiplayer is a little bit different. It's if you were around back then and you come back, you'll definitely appreciate it and you'll love coming back and experiencing it all over again. But someone like me who is brand new to the series and never played the multiplayer during its prime, it was very jarring. The gunplay, the movement, everything, it took a lot of getting used to, and I honestly never got used to it. I mean, you could tell by the gameplay, I didn't play very well in this game. And I eventually played Ultimate Edition, and it was the same exact thing. I mean, Ultimate Edition is just the same game, pretty much, with better graphics and a better frame rate. Now, if you're on Series X, though, you can actually play the original game at 60 frames per second, as you can with all the other Gears of War titles. So, that's cool. I mean, that would be really good if you could actually experience it in 60 frames. It definitely makes the experience a lot better. But I wasn't playing on Series X in this video. I was playing on Xbox One, so I was not able to play in 60 frames, unfortunately. So here's the deal when it comes to the actual player count, though. There are not a lot of players online. I would say compared to Gears of War 2 and 3, there's a lot less people, but compared to Gears of War Judgment, there's a lot more people playing Gears of War 1 in 2025 compared to Judgment, because everyone hated that game. And of course, Gears of War 4 has a lot of players, and Gears of War 5 has the most amount of players of all the older Gears of War titles. And there really isn't a difference in terms of player count between the base game and the Ultimate Edition. It's the same deal, even when we're talking about different platforms. PC, doesn't matter if you're playing the original or the Ultimate Edition, it is completely dead. And I had to find that out the hard way because I spent a bunch of time installing the game on PC only to find that the player base is non-existent over there. And it's been dead for years on PC, which is crazy because there's not a lot of Gears games available on PC in the first place. You'd think there'd be there'd be more players, but no. The only way to find matches is on the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One on the Ultimate Edition. So for the base model, for the base game, rather, for the original OG 2006 version, the only games you'll find are Execution, which is a game mode that's kind of like Search and Destroy with its own twist, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, no Team Deathmatch, no other game modes, that's it. All you get is Execution. Now, if you want Team Deathmatch, you actually go ahead and play the Ultimate Edition, which is where Team Deathmatch, you actually have players on there, and Team Deathmatch is the only game mode that is played on the Ultimate Edition. So, just keep that in mind. If you like certain game modes over others, and you didn't really care for Team Deathmatch, then you probably don't want to play the Ultimate Edition. And same thing, if you didn't like Execution in the original Gears of War 1, then you're not going to want to play it there either. So, just so you know. Also, the East Coast is the only server that has any active players. So if you live very far away from the East Coast, let's say you live in Europe or even further away from that, then don't even bother playing this game online. Just stick with the single-player campaign and just call it a day, because you're not going to be able to get any multiplayer games outside of that region. If you live in, like, you know, the West Coast or somewhere like you'll be able to connect to the server and it won't be too laggy, but just wanted you guys to know that, because I don't want people to get so excited, because I have a lot of international viewers that live in other places be like, oh, shit, there's still people playing Gears of War 1? Well, only in the East Coast in the United States. Sorry, but that's the way it is. So yeah, that's pretty much the overall state of the player base, and whether you're able to connect to games or not. That's the overall layout of the experience in 2025. Now, if you played this game a few years ago, and the other ones too, Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, and you noticed that you couldn't really connect to multiplayer games and you had problems with matchmaking, well, it's good to know that they actually fixed it back in 2023. So if you had issues before and you were unable to connect to any games, let's say you were playing in like 2021, 2022, well, they actually were able to address that and fix it, and it's no problem anymore. The matchmaking it works very well if you can actually find people. Like, if people are actually playing, you can connect to them. Now, as far as which version I would recommend, it really depends on you as a player. If you like better graphic fidelity and just a better looking game, then go for the Ultimate Edition, obviously. But when it comes to the original feel and grittiness of the game, and also to have a more consistent experience, because if you're planning on doing like a marathon through the series, especially through the campaigns, it would be kind of jarring to start with the Ultimate Edition and then go to Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, which were never remastered, so you'd be playing in the original 360 graphics. I'd say, just for consistency's sake, play the original trilogy on the Xbox 360, and don't bother with the Ultimate Edition. But if graphics is the only thing you care about, is the only thing that matters, then fine, play the Ultimate Edition. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's just, I guess, it comes to personal preference. So, that's basically Gears of War 1 in 2025. The gameplay, again, is very dated and is janky, in my opinion. And that's someone who's brand new to the series, by the way. If you played back in its heyday, then you're gonna have a blast coming back to this. But I'm just gonna say, like, I sucked ass, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I even got kicked out of the lobby in Gears of War 1. You guys saw that earlier in the gameplay. I actually got kicked out because they're like, this guy sucks so much ass, we do not want to play with him. We're going to remove him from the lobby and let someone else join that actually, like, knows what they're doing and has half a brain. So, yeah, you guys can roast me in the comment section, all the OG Gears of War fans. But, hey, I cover a lot of games on the channel. I can't be good at all of them, right? But, yeah, I'm going to play all the other Gears of War games. I'm going to attempt to run through all of them on the channel. And people will continue to mock me and make fun of me at how horrible my gameplay is, and that's fair enough. It's just hard though to like learn and try to get good at a game that is literally almost 20 years past its prime, right? So everyone that's playing, you can tell these are guys that know exactly what they're doing. Like this, the way that they move, the way that they play the game, you can tell that they're in their comfort zone. I am not. So that's a common problem that I have when I'm playing older titles for the first time, is that there's no noobs. I'm the only noob that's there. So I stand out pretty well. So, hey, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry that the quality of the gameplay wasn't as good as it could have been if you were watching a video from someone who was familiar with the series. But I hope the information was helpful as far as the actual, which game modes are active and where you can find games and all that stuff. So, yeah. Gears of War 1 in 2025. Let me know if you still play this game after 19 years, almost 20 years, and how would you rank it among all the other Gears of War titles?